Heyo guys, what's going on? It's Sherrick here. We are back with another episode, the final episode of Law and Order Legacies. In the last one, we were stuck in quite the standoff, and if you guys if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I implore you, please go back and watch the previous episode. It will be linked in the description below. It's also part of a playlist which you guys can see right here on my channel. With that said, let's stop the chatter. Let's get to the title of the episode, which is Resolution. Let's resolve the entire game. Basically, we're going in and we're finishing up everything that is kind of wound together.
I've looked through the file, Detective, but I have to admit, I'm not seeing enough to put Giles Bedford away for his son Harrison's murder.
We've got the makings of a good circumstantial case, Mike.
That's not the issue. A jury is going to see Bedford as a grieving father.
I don't want to talk too much over
You're
this,
going to have to convince them that he's a murderer.
These cases
Let me walk you through how I see it.
And how they are basically going over the Preppy Jogger murder case, which is an unsolved case that Curtis and Lenny were unable to solve, that is kind of coming to a head here. So I'm really excited for it. Let's see here. Let's talk about the motive.
The first question the jury is going to ask is, what's the motive here? Why would Giles Bedford kill his own son?
That's a good question.
You got something for us, Curtis?
Yes. I do, actually, and I am correct. Very nice. I believe it has something to do. Well, let's see. His son was threatening to quit school. That's not true. His son was planning on defecting to another company. No, that's not correct. Harrison had killed someone and implicated his own father. No. Which leaves the last one. Giles discovered his son's girlfriend was pregnant, which is the only fact that we have from any previous case. So we're going to go with that one. And it's going to tell us that we are correct.
Bedford found out his son's girlfriend was pregnant. From what Franklin and Allison have told us, he wasn't a big fan of the relationship.
So he killed his son? How does that add up?
It doesn't, which is why it makes sense.
No, she's not crazy. Because the hit, I think they were talking about the hit, when there was a hit that was out. Carmichael said, previous sworn testimony, no. Carmichael is never wrong, just go with it. Love that one. We're going to go with the hit went wrong. This kind of makes it a little easier if you've paid attention and you have like a list of notes from the previous case. You just go for the obvious facts.
The widow said Vincenzo never got paid. My working theory is that Bedford paid to have Allison killed, but during the attack, Harrison somehow got in the way.
That I can understand. I'm betting a jury can see it that way too.
Okay, well, let's talk about Mickey Trevino.
Mickey Trevino will testify that Frank Vincenzo Jr. told him he committed this murder.
And Bedford's defense lawyer will throw out the testimony. It's all hearsay, Detective.
Not necessarily, Mike. The statement may fall under one of the hearsay exceptions. Curtis, what can you tell us about it?
I don't know. What are the exceptions?
Okay, there's present sense impression, meaning something that was happening at the moment, within a 30 to 40 second window.
Okay.
There's also an exception for any statement made as part of a regular business record.
And there's present physical condition, which would be a statement made to anyone about the declarant's current physical condition. Any of those fit Trevino's evidence?
No, I don't believe they do.
Sorry, from what I heard, none of those quite fit.
Hang on, there are a few more. There's another exception for a dying declaration, which apply to any statement made by Vincenzo if he knew he was dying.
And there's also former testimony, which would involve anything Vincenzo said during previous sworn testimony.
And the excited utterance, if Vincenzo said something in the heat of the moment, during or immediately after the crime.
One of those fit. We're going to go with dying declaration. And you will see why in just a moment.
I think we could work with dying declaration.
Oh, really? Why?
Because my cursor was right on it. Vincenzo knew his cancer was fatal and he was dying. Yes, that is correct. And the game confirms it. It is correct. Good job, Detective. AKA
Mickey told me Vincenzo started getting chatty after he was diagnosed with terminal stage cancer.
So he knew he had nothing to
Unusual,
lose.
but I think it qualifies. Mike?
I think you could make a jury see that as a deathbed confession. Go with it.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to go with mental
I
health.
also learned from Bedford's doctor that he's being treated for anxiety.
Interesting, but not definitive. What's he being treated with?
Yeah, he did. Trying to remember because I don't have any notes from this case. I just have the notes from the previous case. Amyl nitrite? That doesn't sound right. Ketamine? No. Methamphetamine? That is obviously not correct. I'm gonna go with the last one because it's either ketamine or banaxylene, depending on how you want to say it. And I don't think ketamine was one that was used. Yes, very nice.
Banaxylene.
That's a pretty common medication. As I understand, there aren't any significant side effects.
No, he's not. I think the doctor said there were nasty side. I think he made a point to say something about the side effects. Studies regarding the side effects are inconclusive, not complete. The doctor said banaxylene had some nasty side effects because Benson wouldn't have said it. If she did, it wouldn't make sense.
Actually, his doctor mentioned that banaxylene had some nasty side effects.
And it gets even better. I remember a case about last year. Newlyweds. She kills him completely out of the blue. Turns uncontrollable rage. She stops the
Sorry about
meds,
that, guys.
and
Had some
suddenly she's
issues
fine.
there.
Great story, but how does that help us? Our crime happened 13 years
He
ago.
didn't miss much.
Curtis, anything that can help us here?
Do I have something else? The doctor said he... I'm trying to think if the doctor said anything else. Yeah, okay. The doctor said he first treated Bedford before the shooting. Chav Trevino also murdered without anti-anxiety drugs. The doctor said he started treatment after the shooting. And doctor said Giles was taking banaxylene at the time. I'm going to go with the top one. That one seems right. And it was, so there we go.
The good doctor also told us Bedford first took banaxylene for anxiety in the weeks before the shooting.
We're damn lucky this physician likes to talk.
I think he honestly believes that Bedford has nothing to hide.
All right, detective. You convinced me. Bedford paid a hitman to take care of a problem for him. His son was a tragic accident, yes, but that doesn't let him off the hook for the murder. And I'm throwing the charge of attempted murder on top. Let's not forget the price paid by Allison Conway and all this.
That's right, she got her face all scarred up. So I apologize for that little hiccup in the center. You guys really didn't miss much of anything. It was just more elaboration on banaxylene and how it can potentially have nasty side effects. But we're going to move forward into the next bit because we're going to try and finish this case off today.
Thank you for joining us today, Franklin. As Mr. Bedford's only surviving son, it can't be easy for you to testify against him, especially in the murder of your brother.
That's how strongly I believe he's guilty.
Okay, well, let's talk about Allison first because
Franklin,
he loves
please tell
Allison.
the court what Giles Bedford, your father, thought of Allison Conway when he first met her.
He didn't like her. At dinner later, he said to me, "She's a gold-digging tramp."
Ooh.
Why would he think that?
Dad didn't feel Allison came from the right background.
It is true. I know Allison said it at least. Rachel Trevino's blog stated the same information. Tag and Allison confirmed this on their video. Dr. Markovich and Allison both confirmed this, and Markovich and Leonard both confirmed this. I believe it was Allison and Markovich said it. I don't think Tag had anything to do with it. Yeah, very nice.
So, safe to say, at the time of the shooting, there was no love lost between Giles Bedford and Allison Conway.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's talk about Harrison.
Your brother Harrison. What were his plans around the time of the murder?
He was going to go to college, get into the firm, become the next CEO, probably.
Interesting.
That's what my dad wanted for him.
And did the plans change when he found out Allison was pregnant?
Yeah. He told me he wanted to drop out and live with her. He said this was the perfect time to escape Bedford Castle, as he called it.
Interesting.
Objection, Your Honor. This is hearsay. Regrettably, we can't cross-examine the victim to establish the veracity of the statement.
Yeah.
Sustained. Miss Carmichael, try and find another tack with this witness.
Can I? Gonna try. Cool. Something that Allison told him directly because we can cross-examine Allison.
Franklin, did Allison Conway tell you anything about the situation?
Yeah, actually. We were pretty close, back then anyway. She said she and Harrison were planning on getting a place. He was going to go to City College, and she was going to finish up high school and look after the baby.
And as for Giles Bedford?
She told me she was afraid of what he would do when he found out.
Remember, this is in the future a bit. Well, Giles is
How
our
would
only
you
option, so
describe
fuck
your
him.
relationship with your father?
Strained, Miss Carmichael. I found myself pointing a gun at his head not too awfully long ago.
Why?
Because I believe he killed my brother Harrison. And I believe that his position of privilege and wealth has kept him from justice.
Your Honor, how is this
We already know
relevant to
that.
the murder of Harrison Bedford?
It's not. Rein it in, Counselor.
Franklin, why don't you tell us what kinds of behavior your father displayed back in those days?
Well,
That
he
will
was
help
stressed
us.
out about the firm, and then about Harrison's future. He would get real dark at dinner, then go pop a Banaxoline and chase it with gin.
Objection. This witness is not the defendant's doctor. How could he possibly know what medication his father was on?
I'm gonna challenge it. Why not? Describe how he identified it. Just finding medical training. Argue that he's authorized to act. No. Make Franklin take a pill and watch the sort of effect it has on him. That's tempting, but I'm gonna go with identifying it. Yes.
Franklin, can you tell the court how you knew your father was taking Banaxoline?
Little orange pills with the word Banaxoline on them. Dead giveaway, Miss Carmichael.
Sit down. Thank
Anyway,
you.
sometimes it helped.
Ooh,
Sometimes it
got
just made him
you.
crazier. Dad's an addict, whether he wants to admit it or not.
Banaxoline, a drug with known side effects that include bouts of uncontrollable rage
Who would
and
prescribe
even,
that?
in the most extreme cases, murder. People submit a case study of Banaxoline and its links to aggression and violence. Now,
Why
while
is
under
this
the influence
an
of this
actual drug?
unpredictable medication and finding out Allison was
anxiety,
pregnant,
like,
he would
that
have
makes
gone
no sense.
ballistic, right?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
It's his own father. Are you saying Franklin can't imagine how his own father would have reacted?
Speculation is speculation, Counselor. Leave it alone.
All right, fine.
Withdrawn. Franklin, from everything you witnessed about your father's mood and
hoping that
behavior,
one was
do
gonna
you
work.
believe he's capable of killing his own son?
Yes, Miss Carmichael, I do. He's a tyrant. A man obsessed with wealth and his family status. And I believe he's mentally unstable. So yes, I think he killed my brother.
Oh.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay, so far we're doing well, but let's get back in here.
Mr.
Oh,
Bedford,
cross-examination
may I call you
time.
Franklin?
Yeah, Mr. Bedford is my father.
This is quite an accusation you've leveled, against your own father even. Tell us, do you have any proof?
Do I need proof, man? Isn't that what this whole trial is for? No, I don't have proof. But the people of New York do.
So you don't have proof?
Asked and answered.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
You testified a lot about your father's
Nice try,
state
man.
of mind, but you also said that you don't have a very close relationship with him.
Wait a minute, I said it wasn't good. I never said it wasn't close. Too close for comfort, if you ask me.
Noted. When was the last time you spoke to your father?
Well, we met. It was right when he had his heart attack.
Okay.
I was the one who took him to the hospital.
Oh, so if you thought he was guilty, why not let him die right there? You were eager enough to kill
that's
him
not-
later.
I guess I felt guilty.
You did. Why?
I might very well have caused it, the heart attack. We argued. See, I accused him and it was intense.
What kind of son are you anyway? Scruffy-looking hippie
Oh,
attacking your
whoa.
father in his old age like that?
You need to have several seats right now. Quit badgering
Objection.
the witness.
Your Honor, this is off the charts badgering right here.
Agreed. Mr. Vance, keep it civil.
Sorry, Your Honor. There's just nothing worse than an ungrateful son.
A murderer. Would I like to object? Yes, more badgering.
Objection.
Still badgering.
Your Honor, seriously?
Try that one more time, and I will bounce you out of this courtroom, Mr. Vance.
Apologies.
Get wrecked.
Let's talk about the past now. Let's go back to the time of the murder. You say your father was angry with your brother, and so he killed him. Interesting theory, but who else was angry with Harrison?
I don't follow you.
Didn't you have a crush on Allison Conway? Weren't
Oh,
you jealous of your
snap.
brother?
Yes, but no, you're twisting it.
You loved Allison Conway, and you killed your own brother in a jealous rage.
That's argumentative.
Objection. Where's the question here?
Sustained.
Tell us, Franklin, weren't you jealous enough of your brother to kill him?
No.
I did not kill my brother. I loved him. I idolized him. I wanted Allison, sure, but I would never have hurt Harrison to have her.
So you had a problem with Harrison's relationship, but not enough to resort to murder.
Yes, that's right.
Seems reasonable. And I imagine your father would probably say the exact same thing. No further questions.
We're still ahead by 95, so I'm not going to sweat bullets just yet. Let's keep moving. Hey, it's a good friend Mickey.
You are here to tell the court about your association with the late Mr. Frank Vincenzo, and to testify to what he told you before he died.
That's right.
Mr. Vincenzo knew he was dying when he took you into his confidence, correct?
Yeah, he got diagnosed with terminal cancer. Only had a few months left.
I like
Guess he
this
needed to
guy's
get some
voice
stuff
actor.
off his chest.
Let's talk about
Can you
him
tell the court what
indeed.
you knew about Frank Vincenzo Jr.?
Indeed.
Well, he was a guy from the building, an older guy. My dad warned me never to cross him. I got the idea he was connected. So when we started talking, he told me what he did.
And what was that?
He was a hitman, Mr. Cutter.
And his weapon of choice?
Shotgun.
No, you did not say that. 9mm. Not cheap balustrade. I don't remember that name at all. Using a length of piano wire. This one. Billy Delegati. Commit the murders. Committed. So obviously that one's not right. I'm gonna go with that one. If I remember that 9mm.
You sure?
No, you're right, Mr. Cutter. It was a 9mm.
He gave you one of those weapons, didn't he?
That's correct.
And the weapon he gave you to help your father shoot Alexander Baran was the same
Oh,
weapon
yeah,
used to
that
shoot
guy, I remember
Harrison
him.
Bedford in 1998.
Okay, what else we got now? The TOM?
Did Mr. Vincenzo describe the crime to you?
Yeah, he told me how it happened. He tracked the kids through the park.
And what year was this?
1998.
Yes, I believe that is correct. We just said it was.
The year of the Central Park murder. And what time of day?
It was a weekend, lunchtime, I think.
No, I think Allison said something to Lenny about this. I don't think that's right. I think that's a test. Okay, it is a test. Franklin said it had been raining all day. No, that was the previous case. That wasn't this one. Van Buren said the 911 call came at 2 a.m. That was the case with the dude that got stabbed by the chicken and died. A video by Tag Vanderhook. No, that was the previous case. I'm gonna go with this one because Allison was there. That makes the most sense. Nice try though, trying to trip me up with the other facts, but
Really?
not exactly.
No, hang on. I remember now. It was late afternoon.
I like how we're not
Around dark.
leading him.
Yeah.
Smart. We're not leading him. Good. Letting
Did
him
Mr.
say all
Vincenzo
this.
describe any specifics of the crime?
I like that
Anything
idea.
to help authenticate his testimony?
Well, he shot the boy first, 2 times. The first hit him in the stomach, and then the second round went right through his heart. He said he made the girl lie down, face down, and then he shot her in the head, sort of from the side. He was real surprised she survived.
Yeah, it is. You can look at Allison's face if you don't believe it. I mean, Widow mentioned it during her interview. We didn't interview her. Fontana told Curtis in the precinct. No. Bankroll told Curtis in... Bankroll, that was not this case. Curtis told Benson at the hot dog stand. I think that was correct. Yeah. Because I'll say Bankroll wasn't involved in this
Allison
one.
Conway shot in the head while lying prone on the ground.
I thought it
Crime
said lying
scene
prone on the
analysts
ground for a
confirmed
second.
this. And, most important, it was a detail the police kept out of the press. Only a witness. Cone. Now, Mr. Trevino, the $64,000 question. Who hired Frank Vincenzo Jr. to kill Harrison Bedford?
Actually, you got your facts wrong, Mr. Cutter.
What?
Frankie told me he got hired to kill the girl, not the boyfriend.
So what happened?
The guy attacked Frankie
Give me
in a
just a second,
fight,
guys.
and both kids ended up shot.
And who
I guess I
hired
can't.
him?
He told
Sorry
me
if you are hearing this.
it was
odd
Giles
sounds.
Bedford.
Whoa! What?
Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
Yeah, like I said, it went all wrong.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know what's going on with my software all of a sudden, but give me just a second. Alright, now we are back here. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my software today, but we're going to make it work. We're going to push through. Nothing's going to stop us from getting to the resolution of this case, so we're going to move forward here.
Mr. Trevino, let's start with something easy. Please state your current address.
My address? You kidding me?
Go on.
I'm at Altona Correctional Facility.
So, you're in jail.
Yes.
Yes.
Convicted of a felony?
Yes.
Objection. Defense is improperly introducing the witness's criminal history to impeach his credibility.
Come on, dude, for real?
Under FRE 609A, it's allowed, Your Honor.
He's got you there, Mr. Cutter. Please,
Aw,
continue.
man. Come
Did
on.
you take a deal in exchange for your testimony?
Yes.
I imagine the deal got sweeter the more you had to say about my client.
Would I like to object? Yes, it's argumentative.
Objection.
There's no question there.
I didn't hear a question there, Your Honor.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase. Isn't it true your deal was contingent not just on your testimony, but the quality of that testimony?
What, you think the DA wants to hear me sit up here and talk about my cats? Of course my testimony has to be good.
Answer only the question I asked, Mr. Trevino.
Yes.
Isn't it true that in almost
boy.
any other trial, this testimony would be considered hearsay and therefore completely inadmissible?
Yes. I'm gonna...
Objection.
Speculation, no expert knowledge, argumentative, or withdrawn. I'm gonna go with no expert knowledge? Although I feel like he does, but I'm gonna try it.
Mr. Trevino is not a
Oh,
lawyer.
yeah, okay, I
He
was
isn't
worried about
expected to
him.
know that, nor is it relevant.
I agree. Move on,
Okay,
Mr.
I was worried
Vance.
about Vance
Sustained.
knowing that.
Ladies
Oh,
and gentlemen
all
of the
right.
jury, let me categorize
sustained.
Mr. Trevino's testimony for you. It is a story told by a convicted felon in exchange for reduced punishment. Even if it's true, these are the words of a dying assassin, a man with no morals whatsoever. Why would any reasonable person ever rate this against the innocence of a man who has been a pillar of New York society for his entire life?
Would I like to object? Yeah.
Objection.
It's argumentative.
Your Honor, Mr. Vance is arguing his case, not questioning the witness.
Sustained. Cut it out, counselor.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Ooh, just dirty. For winning, though.
The people rest their case, Your Honor.
Very well. And Mr. Vance?
Motion to dismiss the charges against my client. The people have failed to adequately meet the burden of proof. The state must prove the critical facts of the case to the appropriate level of certainty. They have not done so.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I heard some pretty good juice, Mr. Vance. I'm denying your motion. Call your witnesses.
We call Allison Conway to the stand.
What? Why?
Miss Conway, can you describe your relationship with the
I
defendant?
suppose.
Yes, Giles, Mr. Bedford is the grandfather to my child. His son Harrison and I were involved in high school. And now, of course, he is the CEO of the corporation I work for.
How many years have you known him?
Since 1998.
In that time, have you ever seen him act violent or unpredictable? Miss Conway?
No. No, I never have.
Many people have said Mr. Bedford disapproved of your relationship, thought you were from the wrong side of the tracks. But this is rumor that's been blown out of proportion, correct?
And you're leading.
Objection, Your Honor.
Doing what I was glad we weren't doing earlier.
The defense is leading Miss Conway through her testimony.
Sustained.
Can you describe how Mr. Bedford acted towards you and the baby after the murder?
He was nice. The whole family welcomed me and my son. He paid for my medical bills and schooling. He paid for everything. He got me this job. Told me I should work for him.
Miss Conway, is something wrong?
No, I'm fine.
She's being
So you
very,
think
very weird. I
Mr.
don't like
Bedford
this.
felt kindly toward you, maybe even like the daughter he never had?
That's speculative.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. Miss Conway can't read Mr. Bedford's mind.
Sustained.
And in your opinion, did Mr. Bedford treat you like someone he was ashamed of or did not like?
My God.
No. No, quite the opposite. More like he owed me something.
No further questions. Thank you, Miss Conway.
Miss Carmichael, your witness.
Miss Conway's given multiple depositions regarding the facts of this case, and we have no further need to question her.
Oh, really? All right. All right. Fine. Let's shut up then.
Dr. Markovich, how long have you been treating
This
Giles
guy.
Bedford?
I've been the family doctor for over 13 years.
And in that time, did you treat him with Banaxylene?
Yes, I did. Mr. Bedford works in a very high-stress financial
still don't
situation,
understand why
and he wanted
this would be
medication
the
that would
thing
help
that
him
you
relax and
use
be
to-
more effective.
Did you ever observe any side effects?
No, I did not, nor did he report any.
Have any of your patients or any patients you've heard of ever reported
Since it's
side
a bad
effects
idea
while
to
on
use
Banaxylene?
This, would I like to object? Yes.
Objection.
What's the...
Relevance.
Yeah. I was like, what is he talking about?
The medical histories of other patients are completely irrelevant. The doctor is testifying about Mr. Bedford.
Sustained.
In the
on, man.
13
You know I
years you
can
have treated
snipe you.
Mr. Bedford, have you ever seen him display aggressive or
stepping
violent
around on my
tendencies to
watch.
anyone in his immediate family on medication or off it?
No, sir. No, I have not.
Okay. I mean, we're still ahead, but not like in our case, really.
Good
right
afternoon, Doctor. I just have a few questions for you today. A few things to clear up.
now. Okay, well, let's talk about the side effects.
Read this disclaimer, please. It's the drug warning for Banaxylene.
This drug may make you dizzy or drowsy or cause blurred vision. Avoid alcoholic beverages. Older adults may be more sensitive to the side effects of this drug, especially loss of coordination and drowsiness. Banaxylene may cause symptoms including mental mood changes, sleep disturbance, increase in aggression, feelings of paranoia, or hallucinations.
Increase in aggression. You know that when you were treating Mr. Bedford?
I never knew Banaxylene had any side effects until I was called to testify for this
What?
trial.
What kind of doctor? What? No, he said he didn't ask. Yeah, no, you lying. I was gonna say, we just did this earlier. He told detective that had an ask. Oh, that was the one, because I clicked it.
You told detectives
Oops.
that you knew Banaxylene had, quote, some nasty side effects.
I did? Well, if they say so.
Alright, dude, that sounds so...
How often did you check in on Giles
All right.
Bedford?
Every 180 days.
Yes? Okay.
So how can you say that you did or did not see any side effects? That's a half year of not seeing your patient. Anything could happen in that time. One final thing, Doctor. When detectives originally
Why did
talked
he
to you in
not
Mr.
give the
Bedford's
response?
hospital
I'm
room,
confused.
you told them something very interesting.
I did?
Oh, yes. Do you remember what it was?
No.
I'll remind you. You told them when, exactly, Mr. Bedford discovered Allison Conway was pregnant. When you told him secretly.
Oh.
Remember when you said that was,
The way you
relative
said
to
that.
the date of the murder?
Sometime after.
No, it was before. It was before. It was before catching you.
No. You told Giles Bedford that Allison was pregnant before the murder. Before. He knew about the secret pregnancy because you told him. And he was angry. You said so yourself.
Yes.
Case is
Furious.
breaking down.
So furious, in fact, that he contacted Frank Vincenzo Jr. and arranged to have her shot dead. In cold blood.
Oh my God.
Objection, Your Honor.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
Yes. Get wrecked, Bedford. We got you, son.
Allison, what are you doing here?
I want to talk.
As long as the trial is still underway, I'm afraid there's not much I can say to you.
Fine, so I'll do the talking. There's something I've tried very hard to push down, to forget, but it's coming back. Mr. Bedford always told me the baby was a surprise to him. He never, ever mentioned he knew about it beforehand. So when you said the name, it didn't click before.
What name?
Frank Vincenzo Jr. Can you show me a picture of him? Thank you.
I don't know where this is going.
Your Honor, the people call Allison Conway to the stand as a friendly witness.
Objection. What's going on here, Mike?
Both of you, approach.
Allison Conway recently had a breakthrough, and her memory is crucial to the people's case. We want to call her to testify.
I've had no warning of this.
She has additional evidence to present.
I'll move for a mistrial as soon as she leaves the stand.
And I will decide whether your motion has merit, counselor, but not a moment before. Now, take a deep breath and listen to what your witness has to say. You introduced her. Now you get to take your lumps, Mr. Vance. Mr. Cutter, your witness.
Nice. All right, what's up? Let's do this memory, okay?
Miss Conway, can you tell us why you're here today?
After I was shot, my memory was spotty, but over the years, I've been able to put some pieces back together.
And you recently remembered something about the shooting.
I haven't thought about that day in years. I've tried not to. My life was perfect in some ways. There was no reason to remember. But this trial, it's all coming back.
Okay, the shooting.
Tell us about what you remember on the day of the shooting.
It was a school day. I went to Harrison's house in the afternoon, like I usually did, but he wasn't there. Mr. Bedford said he sent him on an errand and he wouldn't be back soon. Mr. Bedford knew we had a track meet coming up, so he suggested I take a run in the park while I waited. He would have his driver take me over there. I felt uncomfortable in the house, so I said fine and got changed. As I was about to leave, Harrison came back early. He asked where I was going, and when I told him, he said he wanted to come with me. He was scared about the pregnancy, but protective too. Proud even. So it was just the two of us out for a run. Harrison didn't even bother changing. I remember he had this funny Argyle sweater on.
Yes. The preppy joggers, because that's been the name of the case that's been throughout this whole thing. Argyle is the choice of all serious runners. This is the best answer, but the correct answer, or the bottom answer, was also pretty good too. I don't know where this is going.
We got in the car, and Harrison noticed right away. The driver, he was new. Harrison asked him his name, and he told us. I remember it because it was a funny coincidence. He had the same name as Harrison's brother, Frank. When Detective Curtis showed me the picture of Frank Vincenzo Jr., I knew what you had done. It wasn't enough you wanted the tramp from the wrong side of the tracks out of your son's life. You wanted me dead. And your unborn grandchild.
No.
Frank wasn't a driver. He was a hitman, hired to kill me. And he followed us into the park. But then Harrison fought back, protected me. And he ended up paying the ultimate price for your anger. When you realized what you had done, to assuage your dirty, rotten conscience, you took me in, paid my bills, bought my love and loyalty. You bastard!
Miss Conway.
Well, the truth is out, Giles. And now the whole world will know what you are. What you always were. Murderer.
Thank you, Allison. No further questions.
All right, then. What's next? Jury deliberation.
How long has the jury been out?
6 hours.
What do you think they'll come back with?
Lots of circumstantial
That
evidence.
was a quick answer.
Defense
6
knocked
hours.
us around pretty good.
Jury likes us.
Sure. But remember, all it takes is one.
One person to undo a decade of police work.
Lenny would be proud, Ray. I hope you know that.
Lenny. Rip.
Thanks, LT. Showtime.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have,
We
Your
know
Honor.
it's going to be
And how do you
guilty because
find?
we are
On the count of
OG.
murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Giles Bedford, guilty.
Yay, yay! We got
And on the count of attempted murder?
Guilty.
We thank you for your service. Defendant is remanded into custody until
2
sentencing.
charges obtained.
Well,
Very
Vance
nice.
has already filed his appeal.
Of course.
Of course. We saw that coming a mile away.
Doesn't matter. You won today, and that's what's important.
And tomorrow, do it all over again.
That's how it worked when I was ADA. But tonight, we celebrate. Dinner's on me.
Hey, nice job, McCoy. Appreciate it. Okay. Now I'm assuming this is where Lenny's buried.
Hey, Lenny. How you
Yeah.
doing? Look, I came out here. I just wanted to tell you. We got him. After all these years, we got him. It was nice having one last chance to work with you on a case. Funny. It really doesn't seem like that long ago.
Huh.
But you blink your eyes and everything's different. People disappear, faces change, but, well, at least the city is still the same. Anyways, thanks. Couldn't have done it without you, old man.
And he pops out of the ground as a zombie. Wow, alright. That was an interesting end to the case. I was waiting for a big swerve, but it turns out the guy that we were going to prosecute was the one that we were looking after all along. You know, I feel a little let down by the ending. Like, I feel like there should have been like a big twist, especially considering they kind of interspersed the Preppy Jogger case through almost all of the cases that we've done so far, and they kind of made us go back and take notes on what we looked at previously to kind of figure out what was going on. But, you know what, I had fun with it. I think I did a pretty good job. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so very, very much for joining me on this journey. I do once again apologize for the audio issues. I'm going to try and fix those as best I can so you guys don't have to worry about them. But it is what it is. Thank you so very, very much for joining me again on this. I can't thank you guys enough for sticking it out with me through this entire thing. Subscribe and share if you feel so inclined. As always, I will see you guys right here on this channel for the next one. Peace!